Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently up 0.27% to 2662. Ethereum down 0.18% to 1122. Each video we do a quick run through on the crypto market, and this is really important to understand what cryptos are moving in what sectors. This is something that you will want to refer back to again and again and again. It's really useful to get a bit of a perspective on what's happening. Of course, I'm just bolting through these sectors, and you can pause this on your video at any time, but it just gives you a really good understanding on what is moving and what is not moving. And the reds and the greens, there's a lot of things that you can keep your eye on. And just bolting through it like this gives you a bit of a feeling how different sectors or different industries are actually progressing. One more, the stable coins. And there's something I want to talk to you about the stable coins today as well. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the masterclass, the tax software I use, and you can always reach out and directly message me on Twitter at any time. I'd like to let you know that I started Borsog Trader, a YouTube channel helping you better time market entries and exits. I've also created Discord, Facebook and Telegram groups. Time to beat the scammers. These groups are all free for a limited time. In episode 1 of Borsog Trader, I shared how I made 10% profit in 5 hours when crypto was crashing on Phantom. I've left the link for Borsog Trader in the description of this video. And there are so many more trades that I'm going to be sharing, but I'll share them on Borsog Trader because that's the best place to actually share those trades. Crypto technical analysts scientifically track investor attention, which is measured by price, which is reality, not future promises. It's really important to look at price as it stands and just deal with it. The price is the reality, and it's really good for you to think this way. The first thing crypto technical analysts do is they mark up their charts with the CTKS method, then look towards outside trends, checking the stock market's world events, collecting probabilities, and then going back inside the crypto market to find the market's focus, understanding that opportunities reset daily, and enhancing your pattern recognition is a key thing to do. Before we buy or sell, and there's many ways to buy or sell, we have to have a real wealth, positive excellence, life trend focus, because mastery of emotional control is absolutely critical. All financial markets are designed to capture people at maximum fear points. Fear of missing out generally identifies the tops, and fear, uncertainty and doubt, FUD, generally absolutely captures the bottoms. It's really important to not place your trades according to fear, and this is now a trader's market. It's not an investor's market anymore. We can expect some degree of choppiness. And what you'll see in Borsog Trader is that you can make profits actually very quickly if you know what you're doing. Rule 225, Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity. We can see stock markets globally are coming down. Basically, we're getting caught in a downtrend, and that downtrend has not reversed as yet. Please keep this in mind. It's really important not to get too carried away. If we get a bit of an uptick in price, please know that that may not mean that we've found the bottom just yet. Masterclass students, you'll get this live chart in LV19. And what do we see when we look around the markets? And especially we must look at the US market because it's the dominant, the greatest, biggest market, stock market on the planet. Let's have a look. We can see the volatility of the S&P 500, the VIX, is currently retracing. That's meant that the NASDAQ and all the other major indices have put in positive price momentum. But you can see that price momentum is starting to wane. That's because we're getting near and close to a resistance level. As soon as price hits resistance levels, whether in a crypto, a stock, an index, in anything, they will wobble around. If they're strong enough to get through the resistance, they'll turn it to support. Let's have a look. When we see the VIX coming down, please note that the VIX is still very, very highly elevated, and that's important to understand. And we do deep dives on all of these components inside the masterclass. And in TM6 masterclass students, you will get my live charts here. We can see bond prices are starting to normalize. Potentially we're putting in a higher low. This is a low, this is a low, but this low is higher than that one. And that's why we call it a higher low. But there's still a lot of resistance that it needs to overcome. Bond prices and bond yields move inversely, and we can see bond yields are coming up at the moment. Gold is selling back to a support line, potentially losing it at the moment, but gold actually moves really, really slowly, so it's very hard to tell just at this time. And when we see the dollar spiked recently, came down, spiked again, came down. It's really wobbling all over the place, but it's under resistance just at the present time. But it may be starting to cross that, so let's just be a little bit careful. When the dollar strengthens, it's generally not a good sign for financial markets, but things go in and out of phase, so you have to have context-specific analysis. On the inflation front, it's really good to see oil has actually broken its uptrend and is just coming down, but it's going to find support around here in all probabilities. Just be aware that we could get an uptick. Price is always moving in a wave. It's going up and then coming down, moving up, coming down, moving up, coming down. This doesn't necessarily mean the end of oil's rally. Just keep that in mind. When we look at financial markets, there is no certainty, only probability. If you feel that you're getting stuck in wanting to be certain, you're actually going to lose money. What we need to do is just move with the flow of the market. And that's not easy because fear will overtake people until they've mastered it. When we look at the put-call ratio, we can see the amount of negative sentiment is dropping off because price is coming up. But it's still really, really early to tell what is happening inside the markets. And when we look at junk bonds, we can see the junk bond made a higher low, and here it's potentially breaking its uptrend. So please just be aware of that. Remember, there is no certainty in any financial market, but for a trader, we don't care about that. We want volatility because we can make a huge amount from volatility. When we compare Bitcoin to inflation expectations, we can see the annual inflation rate has come up to 8.6%. But notice this, the Fed balance sheet has actually ticked up recently. It's now at 8.932 trillion. Up from 8.915 trillion. We don't have the stats on M1 and M2 just yet. We can see a little bit of a dog leg up on the 10-year break-even and 5-year break-even inflation rates, but that typically occurs when we get positive momentum in price. Apologies for yesterday. I was talking about the FedWatch tool. What I wanted to actually point out, and I got distracted, so very, very sorry. I had a barrage of phone calls when I was actually doing the video, so I got a bit lost. My apologies about that. What I wanted to say is the target rate in basis points from a month ago was expected 94.7%. between 175 to 200. Now it's come up from 175 to 200, which is 0% now, to 225 to 250. This is showing inside the economy there's a potential for a lot of incoming volatility. That's what I wanted to explain to everyone. Just be aware of that. That is important. And keep your eye on this particular area of that chart. And thank you to the members of the community that let me know. Rule 45, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. When we look at Bitcoin, we can see that we're under severe negative momentum at the moment. The fear and greed index is 9, and we've seen a lot of fear, even more fear than what happened with the COVID-19 sell-off. That was a lot of fear. Basically, the world shut down and stock markets everywhere plummeted. As an investor, you will want directional movement in Bitcoin. And if we zoom out, we know the overwhelming probability is for an uptrend, and we understand what Bitcoin represents as well. Bitcoin represents Web 3.0, or the next evolution in the internet, and we can see the adoption cycle is really early, and the user base growth is really early when compared to the internet. This is something really important to bear in mind. Crypto is not crypto, it's the next evolution of the internet. When people understand that, they can look at crypto price patterns and say, oh, this represents the adoption of the next level of the internet. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And we've had black swan after black swan after black swan, just so many of them, and they've pushed Bitcoin's price down and crypto's price down like no one could possibly imagine. But if you zoom out, the overwhelming momentum is to the upside, and Bitcoin is here to stay. There's absolutely no doubt about it. From a trading perspective, the alts can be very attractive, but from an investment perspective, if we get more negative price momentum, Bitcoin will move down less. It could be a very good risk-off trade, but just always consider that there's potentially another down leg in this market. It could happen. I believe that since the US government started to target DeFi, it said it was going after DeFi and stable coins. We've been witnessing all of this negative price action. They just want to get it under control and control it. And that's what all governments do. That's not anything particular to the US. All governments want to control pretty much everything. So that's neither here nor there. The governments wanted to control the internet back in 1990, and they had absolutely really no chance of doing it. And when you look back at those days, the dark days of the internet, the governments tried to put the internet out of business. They didn't succeed. They won't succeed with crypto either, but they will get their fingers in that pie. One thing that I would like to alert you to, and masterclass students, you received this live chart in TM14, and there's another one in TM15. If we look at Tether market capitalization, it's fallen from about 83 billion to about 68 billion. That is a big fall. And there's all sorts of stories as to why this happened. But the critical thing to understand, Tether has been very non-transparent for a very long time, and regulators are going after Tether. There's a lot of talk that Tether will depeg. Now, I'm not saying it will, but every time you see like a spike down like this, people say Tether is depegging, USD is safer, BUSD is safer. The truth is that Tether depegs much less than all the other stablecoins. Many people think that stablecoins are stable. There's a whole lesson devoted in the masterclass. Its title, Stablecoins Are Not Stable. And you can see it right here with USDC, Circle. And Circle is getting the lion's share. This is not by mistake, I believe. This is a coordinated effort. And it's probably not a bad thing in many ways. BUSD is also coming down, but it's only come down from 8.6 to 7.2. That's not a really big fall, not a really big fall like this. I believe that BUSD and USDC are quite good stable coins to get into, and I would suggest at the moment limiting exposure to USDT. I have done so personally. Don't forget, if you've bought a particular crypto with USDT, you have the crypto. It has nothing to do with USDT. For example, if you bought $1,000 of Bitcoin with USDT, that's got nothing to do with USDT now. And that's something that a lot of people are unsure of when they first get into the crypto market. You can sell Bitcoin or any crypto into USDC, BUSD, and you can swap from USDT to USDC, USDT to BUSD. You can do all of these things. I would personally not touch DAI at the moment. That's just from a personal preference. That's basically because I'm a trader, I need to have high liquidity tokens and high liquidity pairs. Let's have a look at Bitcoin and understand what it's doing right now. When we look at the CTKS method, we can see that it came up to a resistance level and it backed off from that. There was a higher resistance level just above it, so we've got a degree of negative air here. Just be aware that price is always moving in a wave. I created Borsog Trader because I felt that we were getting a little bit off track. We need to understand how the market momentum is moving in order to do good Borsog trading. So let's have a look at this current price action. And Masterclass students, you'll get this live chart in TG34. One thing that we can tell is the Nasdaq is moving directionally and associated, positively correlated, directionally correlated with Bitcoin. We've seen the Nasdaq come down, go up, come down, go up, come down on Bitcoin as well. And we also know that Bitcoin's fingerprint is playing out on all of your beloved alts, except for about 1%, and those 1% can be gold to identify. As we look in here on the Nasdaq, we need to try to understand what this market dynamic actually tells us. If we zoom in on the daily basis, we can see that we've been forming a series of positive momentum moves, but we do have resistance playing in at 11,656. And if you're in crypto, you'll say, well, Ken, why are you talking about this for? We're not in stocks, we're in crypto. But remember, this is Bitcoin's actual price action, this blue line. See how carefully and directionally it's following. This is really important to understand. What we've seen is a constant rejection. Sellers have come in, pushed the Nasdaq down. Sellers have come in, pushed the index down, push the index down, bit of negative air, and they're pushing it down right now. What does that mean? We've got support playing it out at around 1144, near this, for example, near this particular region here. But what does that mean? Will it break or will it hold? These things, we've just got to go on a day-by-day basis. That's why I wanted to focus much more attention on the trading side to give you the understanding of where price was actually moving and where it could potentially move. What do we see here with these resistance lines? We see that the Nasdaq, and we know Nasdaq and Bitcoin are directionally correlated at the moment. We see it was under resistance, is breaking out, and then we see that resistance has been weakening, potentially finding support. The critical level is here, just above this area, 11,656. If we get above there, well, I think it's looking pretty good to move to 11,942, but it could come back and consolidate. If we lose this particular support line, we need to be really careful because the next level is 11,142. Sometimes when you actually go in and drill in on the Nasdaq, you can actually better understand Bitcoin. Returning to Bitcoin, let's make sense of this. Now this line may be a little bit hard to analyze, so let's turn that into bars. More like candlesticks. Okay, let's see what's happening. We know that around this area we've had a lot of rejections, so basically we need these lines here to actually get above this particular level. Right now we know they're being supported. That's okay. We know price is always moving in a wave. It goes up, comes down, goes up, and then of course weekend trading. What happens on weekend trading? Nothing happens with the stock market. It's so boring. Why doesn't it trade 24/7? Like us. Now we can see the price has come up. Of course it's going to wave down at some stage. We do have a level of short-term support underneath here. But if we actually lose this and break through, that's where we've got to consider what is happening. Overall, it's looking pretty okay, but just be aware of these things. It's all part of your education inside the market. So what we want to see with this white line, the Nasdaq index, get above, start to challenge this particular peak, and then get above it. If that happens, I think it's absolutely game on for Bitcoin. But just remember, there's a lot of stuff happening inside the crypto market at the present time. Again, certainty will lead to terror. You just have to work with the chart in front of you. If it gets above this level, if it challenges and takes out that resistance, it's looking really, really good for Bitcoin. But if it doesn't, it's looking the other way. Let's talk a little bit more about Bitcoin's potential support levels. What we see here, we had a very explosive uptrend. And that was so explosive that actually Bitcoin came up 23.27% in just 2 days and 18 hours. You have to love crypto. There's a very important line that must be held. That's that A line coming in at 23.27. What this is and what it represents, if the sellers get control and push below 2, that means negative price momentum is on the cards. If the buyers come in and defend A at 23.27, that means the buyers can regain control, but they'll need to push it through these resistance levels. Let's have a look at what's happening with the longs and the shorts. The shorts have been coming out of the market, but now starting to get a little bit of confidence back in. The longs have been sort of flatlining, came up a little bit and came down a little bit. Let's have a look at 24-hour liquidations. They were 178.62 million across 82,341 positions. If we look to total liquidations across the past 24 hours, about 57% were short. What about the past 12 hours? 54% long. What about the past 4 hours? Nearly 71% long. The longs are getting hit. What about the past hour? 79% long. So you can see that negative price momentum is basically the longs getting hit. And it's hard to tell from here because of the way that this particular chart is drawn. But the concept, because it's a daily chart, it's not capturing that little leg down. This is actually showing that more shorts have been liquidated than longs. And the longs and shorts are always in symbiosis. The longs come in to heat things up. The shorts say, hey, chill out, man. Let's zoom in for a closer look. Now, what we see is on, for example, the 2 hour, we've seen this particular low and this low. We actually lost Bitcoin, the crypto market, lost support around here when it sold off. Now that means there's a lot of sellers up here saying, no you don't, Bitcoin, I want you to go down. But what are we seeing here? Some rejections. And where is this line drawn through? It's drawn through here, but this is a further weakening of trade. What you can actually see is this particular support line at A, 23.27, is being defended by buyers. The buyers have come in and said, no you don't, shorts, I want to buy this thing. No you don't, sellers, I'm buying. But they need to get above this particular level, 21.026, to push it through, and then get above 21.775. We always have to have three-dimensional thinking. That is, what happens if price goes up, goes flat, or goes down? So we must consider what happens if we lose this support. This support has been fairly strong support. The next level down is 19.623, and the next defensible level down is 19.245, and another level around 18.445. Just keep these things in mind. It's a real trader's market at the moment. There's a lot of uncertainty in these markets, but if you actually can borsog, you will do incredibly well. Please let me know, where do you think Bitcoin is going? What do you think we're actually facing here? Do you think after this large rally it will just pull back and just continue, or the large rally it will pull back and go down? Or it could do a large rally, pull back and just go flat. And we don't really care. As traders, we just trade the chart in front of us and we look at the weakening or strengthening, the support and resistance levels, and we just work in accordance with the reality of the market. Because there's so much turbulence in global markets, I think that to have a bit of cash laying around is not a bad idea. And for traders, we're always selling. We buy in, we sell. We recycle, buy, sell, recycle. That's what we do. Let's have a look at the options, because that sometimes can give us a fairly good indication. Just remember that the current price is 20,709. When we look at options expiring today, we can see there's a lot of negative momentum inside the market, but the max pain price, the price at which the majority of options expire worthless, is 21,000. That would put the max pain price for today at 21,000. You can see that max pain is just above current price action. Something that may be helpful to you is to go to the next day's option and have a look at the max pain price. You can see there's a lot of negative momentum or sentiment inside the market. Max pain price for June 23rd is 21,500. If we were to draw that out, that 21,500 is just there. This can be really interesting for you to do. It's another form of analysis that could be very, very helpful. Let's have a look at what happens over the next 24 hours. And just in the comments, where do you think it's going to go to? Do you think because max pain price of tomorrow is up, do you think the price will come up or go down? Please let me know in the comments. These are really good things to discuss. An interesting thing, if we go forward in time to June 24th, what is happening here? The max pain price is 30,000. There's still a lot of people placing bets into the market that Bitcoin will do really, really well, and others placing bets into the market that it won't go so well. But let's have a look on the chart. Let's draw some bands in so we can get a better understanding of what the options market is telling us. The options market is informing us that it expects maximum pain at 21,000 within the next 24 hours, 21,500, and then 30,000 the day after. This could give you some indication of where things may go, but we must check day in and day out. Let's have a look at the greatest gainers in the past 24 hours. Waves is up 43.75%, SHIB is up over 30%, ZIL up over 23%, Compound nearly 17% up, IOST 14.6% up, and Uni 13.76% up. Let's go the other way. What's down? Not too much actually. XDC just down 2.29. These are the top 100. ADA down 1.34, and we can see basically the others are not really down all that much. Let's have a look at the top crypto projects. We can see the RSI in Bitcoin starting to come down. We would expect to see this relative strength actually come down on all the alts. What we're doing here is to enhance pattern recognition. This blue line is Bitcoin's gravity. This is Bitcoin's price action on Ethereum. The blue line always represents Bitcoin's price action. This is really, really powerful stuff. What we can see, Ethereum has acted more strongly than Bitcoin, but is following the directional correlation of Bitcoin as well. We can see Binance Coin doing really well compared to Bitcoin. And what about XRP doing better than Bitcoin? And this is why we love alts, because the alts really over-exaggerate the positive moves. But beware, the alts also over-exaggerate the negative moves. So it can be a blessing, but it can be a curse. So you really have to manage your positions. ADA moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. Solana, look at that, just absolutely bolted up. What about Doge? Bolting as well. What about DOT? It's just going on a bolt as well. When you get into the crypto market, it's all about money, 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 retirement, Porsches, all of that kind of stuff. But the truth is, through a positive excellence mindset and maintaining real wealth foundations, the key to everything is just to start small and scale. Just become the person that can support the weight of success that you are after through your kindness, your integrity, your decency, your gratitude and happiness, inner and outer peace. These things are really, really important. Many think that these are optional. If you want to be truly successful in life and have a meaningful and fulfilling life, these are not optional. This is the path to get there. In yesterday's video, I asked our beloved community about impatience. Luke said, impatience? I can't afford that. It's way too expensive. Let's have a look at some more potential Borsog opportunities. We can see Tron acting with extreme strength, but directional price correlation as well, relative to Bitcoin. We can also see the RSI coming down. What about AVAX? Just following Bitcoin's gravity, but exhibiting more strength recently. Look at SHIB, it's just absolutely rocketed, but the RSI is coming down, as is the price. Let's have a look at Litecoin. Litecoin exhibiting a lot more strength than Bitcoin at present, as is FTT or FTX token. Chainlink following but stronger. And Matic is stronger as well, and Uni has just taken off. Thank you, Art, for your very nice comment. Art saying that he's been impatient all his life, but he's just realized this recently. Moving in to assess things quickly is what basically people do. And when Art is right, he's right, and it's good. But sometimes he says, I believe in my assessment so much that I move too quickly. To slow down and reflect on why I made the mistake in the first place and then try to get better next time is the way to go. Look within and try to get better. Thank you, Art. And a really insightful comment from Badger as well. Whenever I am impatient, the market makes me pay a tuition fee. Ouch! And this is the absolute truth. That's why I bring these issues up. Stamina made a very, very good observation. We don't get married to coins anymore. It's a trader's market. And thank you also to Brett. Thank you, Ken. I still love perfection is the road to ruin. Excellence is not perfection, and excellence should be more than enough for anyone. When Brett talked about impatience, he talked about the negative aspects of impatience, and I think it's really, really good. But why are we impatient? Well, it pays. We get to our destination more quickly, we get rich quicker, we get promoted quicker at work, we get ahead of everybody else. Wow! Because we're more important than everybody else. Entitlement, arrogance, and lack of integrity. That costs us dearly. If we leverage, we can get wrecked. In trades, we can lose everything at the last race. In work, we can lose the respect of our peers. In a car, we can crash, get hurt, maimed, or worse, kill someone. At home, we can lose our partners and marriages, the love of our children. Why? Because we think we're more important than everyone else, so we must come first. Some call it impatience. I call it being unkind. I think this is really, really insightful. It's hard-hitting, but the truth is often hard to digest. But I think there's a lot of truth to this. I believe also impatience is just the requirement not to learn. A lot of people get impatient because they say, I'm here, that should be enough, let's rock. But if you think about your job, your studies, whatever you're involved with, and it could be your hobbies and pursuits as well, if we don't put in the learning, if we don't have the right foundations, the results will not come, and that's being unkind to yourself. Let's have a look if we can see some more borsogging opportunities. Stellar, stronger than Bitcoin's gravity. NIA, stronger as well. Bitcoin Cash, basically following. Algo, bit stronger than Bitcoin's gravity. Ethereum Classic, a lot stronger. Cosmos, Atom, a lot stronger. VET, VeChain, stronger. And Decentraland, Mana, showing more strength. Thank you, Oscar, for your quote. The Latin potentia means the quality of suffering or enduring. Impatience is its absence and can be thought of as a contract with yourself to be unhappy until something happens. Instead, you could choose to be happy now. You could choose to be patient, to be enduring, to bear suffering. Accept the moment and make a three-way plan regarding that thing. What will you do and feel if it happens, if it does not happen, and while it stays undecided? Really, really good, Oscar. In trading, we always make three-dimensional decisions. What will we do if price or our portfolio goes in our favor, goes against us, or goes nowhere? And what is Oscar saying? You can think about it not just as your portfolio going in your direction, but whatever you want in your life. It's a really, really clever concept and idea. Thank you, Oscar. Let's have a look at some more Borsog opportunities. Mana looking pretty good. H-bar looking strong. Flow just following. HNT diverting. This could be interesting. Keep your eye on that one. ICP looking stronger. Theta looking stronger. Tezos just following. And Ape looking stronger. Stamina says, with patience you get promoted to the next level. Learning and life is like a game. Hey, let's be good at that game. Thank you, my friend. Buildy shared something really, really sensational about patience. Sometimes we're only patient in situations that suit us. Others may consider us to be quite impatient in many situations. So it's really good to analyze yourself objectively for finding out how often you exhibit patience. Thanks, Buildy. That's really, really clever. Flamingo gave a really different perspective, and it's a really good one. When I get impatient, Flamingo says, I'm forcing things to happen, which usually nothing good comes from forcing something to happen. It's much more beneficial to allow things to play out organically in their own due time. And that's really difficult to do if you think about it. We're in such a tearing hurry. We want to hurry to do everything, but all delays are good. Flamingo, that's brilliant. And Flamingo says that delay could save me from something. And it's really good to think that way. Art said nothing good comes from forcing something to happen. That's really true. And Brett said patience and kindness rules. Very wise words, my friends. Let's look at some other potential borsogging opportunities. We can see Graph, GRT. Escaping Bitcoin's gravity? Yeah, not quite. It's just moving with it. Clay, moving with Bitcoin's gravity. Quant, doing really well. Neo, just aligning itself. Phantom has broken free. BAT has definitely broken free. There's a lot of spikiness in BAT. Could be interesting. Hint, hint. Chiliz, look at Chiliz, moving up and down quite well. And LRC, also looking pretty good. Thank you to Free Dentist, who said, I'm enthusiastic enough to borsog since the end of April. Just be patient. Impatience is a very bad enemy. Learn to accept the fact. Take good things. Good things take some time. Eventually, good things will happen. Wabi Sabi had a really good, very, very nice story in here. The bottom line, I made a commitment to myself to become the master of this practice. I spent every waking moment reading about what Wabi Sabi wanted to do, watching demonstrations. This is all part of patience. When you fully commit, you will become patient. You can't help but become patient. Let's have a look at some community favorites. We can see GMT just going parabolic, but it's basically following Bitcoin's gravity, but much more strongly. Have a look at that to see what following Bitcoin's gravity looks like from a directional correlation perspective, but see the strength, the over-exaggeration there. NKN, looking very nice. Let's have a look at ICX, just going with Bitcoin's gravity. VRA, moving in alignment with Bitcoin's gravity. Rose, starting to really rock it up. People, just moving in alignment, and we can see some strength here. Some inversion also occurred. This is what we're looking for, especially when Bitcoin sells down. OGN, what's happening? Some inversion play here as well. We can keep our eyes on inversion plays to confirm if Bitcoin is actually rolling over. But sometimes they go and decorrelate, then recorrelate, so they're not perfect indicators. RNDR, exploding up. And now look at this. You can see it's just moving with Bitcoin's directional correlation, but it's moving in such a strong way. Thank you, Nenad, for your comment. Wow, I love the comments from the last video. People shared so many valuable experience. I always learn something from the comments. Thank you kindly, KS family. And Nenad talked about impatience. One of the greatest lessons on impatience that I learned was in recent market conditions when I was putting in huge amounts of money into buy orders to learn with. Now I wait for the market recovery and I learn with really small amounts. I am grateful for that lesson. Thank you, Nenad. Start small and scale is definitely the way to go. When you start small and scale, starting small is really intelligent because you're learning how the markets work. I thought in the comments today we could talk about commitment. Commitment can be a very powerful way of overcoming impatience and becoming patient, but there's a lot more to the commitment than that. I would love to hear your thoughts, and thank you to everybody that commented as well. That's just beautiful. We have such a beautiful globally extended family. As Stamina said, we've transferred into a trader's market. We've got some idea of where option values are expected to go from a max pain price perspective, but just be aware these things do turn around on the flick of a dime. Just seek to trade the chart in front of you and be really aware of potential price changes and potential trend changes as well. And please let me know, where do you think Bitcoin will be headed to? Up to 1 or B, or down to A or 2? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and the CTKS ambassadors for assisting masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. Please also don't forget to pop across to Borsog Trader on YouTube. The link is in the description of this video. I'll be adding lots and lots more trades there. And the current one is how I made 10% profit in 5 hours when crypto was crashing through Phantom. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the tax software I use, and you can get a 20% off discount, and tax time is coming due in very many countries, so please keep your eye on that. And also links to the Crypto Trading KS Masterclass. Please seek out an ambassador to get 80% off. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.